start where everyone should always start, meaning Googling the documentation. So tty-prompt, and let's see what tty-prompt is. You should go to the GitHub repo, or if you see that there's documentation, you can also go there. So when you go to the repo, you see that the explanation of tty-prompt is, it is a beautiful and powerful interactive command line prompt. That means that it is actually a gem that allows you to create easy and visually engaging user experience or user interface for your user, right? Which actually in turn adds to user experience, but also developer experience. You will see that in a moment. You can, the documentation for the tty-prompt is really awesome. So you can just read this, or you can follow the lecture, right? So in case you want to follow the lecture, let's do that. First, we want to add this to our gem file. I'll move this. So I am adding this, and as soon as you change the gem file, you need to run bundle install, which I'm doing now. You can also check all the dependencies that were installed here. So you see that all those dependencies were added by tty-prompt, like for example Pastel, and then Pastel also has their own dependencies, right? So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. But also, I don't think that this is something you should do. I mean, like, you need to do, right? Okay, so we already added the tty-prompt gem, and so now if we go to rake console, maybe we will be able to do tty. Yeah, and now tty-prompt. So you see here that tty is a module and prompt is a class on that module, right? So now maybe we can create a new instance of that, of the tty-prompt, right? So let's do tty-prompt.new. Let's see what happens. Oh, and so now if we look at the documentation, you can see that there's this method ask. So let's just do that. What is your name, right? And so I should be able to, I'll save this to this prompt to a new variable prompt. And now I should be able to apply an instance method of ask to this instance, right? Oh, look what I get. I get a prompt. What is your name? Sylvia. And so whatever I type here, as soon as I click, push the button, the enter, right? Press enter. This is going to be the return value of that method. Look, Sylvia, right? So now the question is, how can I, use this, the power of tty-prompt, not within a rake console, because our users should not be, tasked with remembering to go to rake console. This is not the best user experience and also not the safest, right? So now let's think what we can do. We could actually create a new class on our app. We could call it interface. So let's do that. Interface.rb. And this class will be responsible for managing all the user interactions with tty-prompt, right? So interface end. Now, this class is not inheriting from Active Record because none of the instances of interface will ever be saved to the database. And so you do not need to invoke the power of Active Record because you will not be translating anything to SQL, right? So now let's go to rake console and let's see whether we can actually create interface.new. Oh, I can. That's awesome. But now how to connect this interface class to the prompt, right? So enter initialize method. And as soon as we invoke interface new, we will invoke it with an instance variable of prompt. if I go to rake console and I call, let's say, interface.new.prompt, do you think it's gonna work? Well, no, because we don't have a reader for that, right? So attribute reader prompt. So now let's do this again. And as you see, I actually get an instance of a prompt to which I can apply a method ask, who are you? I'm human, right? Great. Okay, and so we already initialized our interface with an instance variable of a prompt. We added an attribute reader to that. So now, how can we allow our user to use, this awesome superpower without going to rake console? Well, we could create a new rake task. So let's do that. So in order to create a new rake task, you write first the description. So start our app, and now task, start, do, and as soon as our user presses start, what will happen? We'll create a new instance of an interface. Interface equals interface.new, and let's see what's gonna happen. So actually, maybe let's just so let's see what happens, right? So first let's check whether we see this task, rake T, we see rake start here, right? Rake tasks are ordered alphabetically, so the rake start will be at the end. So now if I call rake start, actually something happens, but we don't see it, right? It's only because a new instance of interface is being created. But actually, how about we also add interface.welcome. And now we also add the welcome method. And in here, we can say just put hello, right? So now if I do rake start, you see that I'm getting a hello. And we'll elaborate on this method in a second.